what is the biggest obstacle to innovation?
So, of course, there are several, because innovation is a complex matter. So complexity is one of the first, and also time to arrive to something that is really innovative, to discoveries and so on. But in the end, one of the biggest challenges that I saw in all the sectors and all the fields around and so on, and also with companies and also regular people, unfortunately, is the mindset of the people. So because innovation is also change, you need to change to innovate. You need to adapt to new solutions, new technologies, and so on. And people and companies don't like too much the changes. It's because is fearing. So you have normally are afraid to make some changes in your life and in your routine and so on. And this slow down a lot the innovation propagation in the world. If you think about what exists today in the world, how many innovative solutions, how many new technologies exist today is unbelievable. We could really live in a sci-fi movie today if we start adapting everything that already exists outside. But most of the companies and most of the people are still using obsolete technologies.
Yeah.
And so if we find the way to overcoming the mindset, to be more adaptable, to embrace the changes in our life, in the company and so on, we will really see a strong and a fast change in our daily life and also in the company life.
Yeah. But would you say that it's hard to change and, of course, to embrace change, especially when there are so many other changes in the world? There's so many things moving fast in general, and right now in the pandemic, even more.
But you know that pandemic has shown, for example, the difficulties for a human being to adapt to the virtual life. For example, with in particular in the work routine. So, and took a lot of time for a lot of people to start working remotely at home in front of a computer, using live conferences and so on, to be really effective on these. This is start from everything, from also from the daily life. If you want to change your routine, if you want to change your for just a work, for example. People are afraid to change a work. And so if you are afraid to change a work, how you can really embrace a new technology that must you act in a totally different way. So also if it's more effective or more efficient to you. And companies is the same. It's an ecosystem that when you change also a small part of it, this request changes in all the levels and in the entire companies. And it's not easy at all for the people changing this kind of mindset. So you need to start working on this inside the companies, helping all the sectors to make this mindset more adaptable and say, okay, we need to change all the days. So every month we need to introduce a small changes to help the mindset to become more flexible on this.
Yeah. When I think about things that, my kids, I have 4 kids, and I always think about the same thing. What do they know and what do they need to know in order to be in the future? And I think that change is something that they will surely need to get used to. And if we're thinking about a fast changing world right now, they will have even a faster changing world as I see it. So just changing the way that you see things, the way that you operate in the world is so important. And you see in companies that there are, like, I know, several companies, very big ones, usually tech ones, who are innovating all of the time. And most of the other companies are not really changing. Maybe startups are doing the change, but the big, like, medium companies are moving really, really fast. So why do you think they are not doing it? Like, they could do it. Let's say some of the people could have these, like, the changing mindset, and still it's not getting forward.
Because there are, in my opinion, 2 different mindsets inside the company. So a lot of large companies, normally above 1,000 people, has an innovation departments in place, and
Right.
they are performing a lot of technology scouting, technologies and innovation activities and so on. But sometimes then the final decision is in charge of a business unit, of the CEO and the innovation and business has two different approaches, because business must get money and cash flow and so on, growth in the short time. Innovation needs a long time, needs failures to become real. And so these two different mindset is not aligned between each others. And this is something that is slowing down a lot of companies, because they looking for the mid-term goals, objectives, and not in the long run. But if you go into the statistics, for example, in the forecast is that in the next 10 years, 40% of the Fortune 500 companies will vanish.
Wow.
Because they don't innovate enough. And this is based on what already happened from the 1955 until now. And this is starting going really fast today, because if you don't innovate today, you're out of a business. You must innovate to stay on track and make your business grow, because otherwise someone else will do it for you and will overcoming you and become a leader in the market.